We are here in Hampton on the corner of this busy street right here. We're right on West Queen Street. We are putting together a backyard here. So this yard is actually only about 18 months old. But when they put it together, they didn't do it exactly the way the homeowners wanted. So we're in here modifying, so we're doing more than what they wanted the original time around, but we're also kind of changing some of the aspects and the design and the layout of this backyard to make it ever more friendly for them. So I want to kind of walk you through here. So as you can see, we took out a panel of fence right here. We're going right across, and this is how we're kind of accessing the backyard and doing everything back in here. So there was concrete all the way across here, and the concrete was sloped just a little bit incorrectly, and that concrete was actually pushing water and having it sit right in this area here. So we demoed that concrete out, we got that out of there, and we still have a little bit of a challenge with this pool because of the way that it's set a little bit high in the back here, and just some of the way the topography is working. So we've had to be a little bit creative with how we're doing our sloping and drainage and things like that. So we actually made a slight belly in here, and we're draining all that water out this way to keep it away from that door right there. And then where you can see we've kind of cut around all this concrete in here. So this had a bunch of curves and organic flair. They decided they don't really like that anymore. That's not really their style. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to add a circle in here, and then we're doing more straight lines. We've gotten rid of a lot of the curves that they had. And then we're overlaying coping on top of this concrete. So here's where we had to get creative. So rather than go through the expense of ripping out all the concrete, our homeowners actually opted for what's going to be here, and I'll show you that in a second, to spend the money on adding a feature here and leave this concrete in and allow us to work around it. So there was a weir that was right here, and so a weir is not, I'm not saying weird, weir is actually a waterfall. It's the mouthpiece to a waterfall. So there was one right there on the edge. You can see it. It was right on the edge there, just spilling in. It was kind of an odd placement. So we're getting rid of that, and we're actually gonna build a waterfall on the end of the pool right here, and it's gonna have two different weirs spilling into the water, kind of split there with lights in it, but it also is on the deep end so that the kids can jump in and kind of use that as a jump rock into the pool. So once that portion is done, they're moving the plumbing right now. We're gonna add new coping all the way around this pool, and this is where I was saying this is where they kind of decided to overlay the concrete and work with it. But you can see how we've cut back all this concrete on here. It's because it had just the coping on here, the cantilevered edge was cracked in a bunch of places, and it was not holding very well. So we took all that off, overlaying the new coping, and then there's actually going to be waterline tile all the way around here to cover up this coping right here. So this is where we're getting creative. And then we're going to overlay a circle, and you can kind of see this circle right here. That's going to be overlaid on top of here with pavers, a seating wall. You'll have a true fire pit area that's actually centered on the pool instead of off-centered. And then we're overlaying all this concrete with regular pavers. So you can see them kind of all stacked up right over there. So we're using all these pavers on the edge here. So that's kind of like the general gist of the pavers. We're just giving it a clean look. There's a lot of imperfections in this concrete, so we're getting rid of all that so it's nice and even. Now, there was more drainage issues than meets the eye. So you can see these downspouts right here. These were actually just going and adding more of an issue to that area. So we're taking all that water out in this pipe right here where Chewy is working, and we're taking water out right here where these drips were dripping, and it was just saturating this entire area. So we're getting all this water out, we're getting it out over to the street so it's not in our way here. And then when this is all done and said with pavers, we're actually adding a putting green in this entire area. So there's going to be a 3-hole course putting green right here. It's going to have an awesome little kind of curves and contours. And then there'll be a little bit of landscaping back here in this corner to kind of offset it. And then we're going to do curbstone around that whole space. So you'll actually be able to be way back here on the far side of the pool, and you'll be able to putt straight into the green because it's going to have the green is going to be the same level as the pavers. It's going to be a really cool look and feel for them. Make this place just ever so much more special. And then to kind of top everything off, all their plumbing was exposed on this side. So there'll be a little fence there that'll hide all that. And it'll be a nice, clean, appealing backyard when it's all said and done. Can't wait to show you guys what this looks like. The after photos really going to tell the story about what this looked like. And I'm also going to throw a few of those before photos in so you guys can really see what we're working with. Thanks for following along. Be sure to show you what it looks like.